real quick.
All right, buddy. Yeah, I tell you what. Yeah, have Nazca pulled up. Matt will have his spreadsheet. We'll get really scientific for the first time.
So are we actually just talking about what March we think we're hitting tomorrow?
Yeah, so we're going to break it down. First of all, so everyone knows who we are. This is a one turn, I think. Or I don't know how I have it categorized, but you know who we are, and it's just me and Matt.
Okay.
We do have Nina Elliott and Jordan Patty in the background. They are going to weigh in as needed. Oh, yeah, it's
announce
going.
yourself.
Yeah.
You got.
Say hi, Nina.
Up.
Words.
Say something.
She's there. Promise.
Say
I
something.
promise she's there. This isn't made up. That was her. That was her.
She's a reef monster.
Got her ass. None of us can laugh like that.
I'm pretty retarded, but I can't do that.
It's true. All right.
Facts.
So this is the ECC prediction episode.
ECC.
Or is it?
Or is it something else?
Because if you guys watched the Instagram stories, I said there's not a chance in hell that Matt McDougall is going to win ECCs.
And it's true. I won't.
You're not.
And Matt, why will you not win ECCs?
Because I won't be throwing ECCs, because I suck. Instead, I'll be throwing pro the day before at the VSG, the Virginia Scottish Games.
So Matt is debuting his first pro game at the Virginia Scottish Games, which is a team competition.
Mm-hmm. We said,
so-
fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, fuck it, we ball. That's one of our several mottos that are all dumb.
Go hard to go home.
I'm always hard.
I don't have a home.
And I don't have a home. I don't know what to do.
I'm very lonely and very hard.
I gotta drink and eat on the podcast to make people mad. Yeah. This is the part where you could say something, or you could sit over there and keep being quiet and giggling into your sweater, Beans.
On.
All right. So we were gonna. It still is a prediction episode, but the way we're gonna do it is break it down event by event.
I was going to win ECCs, just so you know.
That was the prediction, right? So that
was my guess.
And we're still gonna weigh in on where we now think we're gonna place in our respective classes.
Which is fair.
But what we're gonna do to make this episode a little longer and talk a little more is more of how we think we're going to throw each event. Kind of how we're feeling physically coming into this. Physically speaking, I'll go ahead and say I feel fantastic for the first time in a long time.
No, way to be.
Not mentally.
rubbing it
Mentally,
in there.
I'm really in the dumps. But physically, I feel great. I got a massage today. I've been hitting contrast showers. I did an ice bath a couple of days ago. Like, I moved an 80% bench like it was an empty bar. Like, things feel physically good.
You're pretty much in Zen mode. You're like a Buddhist monk right now.
My brain, seriously, is in autopilot, and I'm going to keep hitting the contrast showers because I genuinely think that is helping.
Speaking of showers, I really like doing the whole...
Golden one?
Well, I mean, that's nice. But the cold showers before I work out and do stuff,
Yeah.
I really love doing cold
Hey,
showers.
how about you shut up
beforehand.
until it's your episode? No.
You know what? I'm going to speak, damn it. You're going to fucking listen.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
I will start speaking German
You're going
right
to hear
here.
about it. I'll tell you that. This podcast is problematic enough. Right. Okay, so I feel really good. I feel like my rehab has been on point, and I didn't time it poorly to lose strength or anything like that. Like the couple of sheaf pulls I took the other day felt really good and snappy. Like everything feels like it should. I feel like I'm in the zone. I don't feel like it's one of those games that I'm going in. Something feels immediately like it's going to be off before I even get out there. How are you feeling, Matthew?
I'm feeling very strong and athletic. I have a couple of continuing problems with my left calf, and my left knee and my left ankle, and just my left leg in general. But
Left toes, what the fuck are they doing?
I don't know what's
Jesus
going on.
Christ,
Yeah, they just
monkeying around.
yeah. But
That might be weird.
yeah, But I'm not really worried about it. I mean,
Vitamin C deficiency.
these are things that I have worked around all season, and I'm looking forward to a 4-month off season in another 2 months. But yeah, I think as far as my throws have been going, I haven't actually felt stellar at all this year, but I feel as good as I felt at any point this year.
Which has been progressing.
Which has been good enough to go pro. Right.
If we're status quo and we're still progressing, then that'll do big.
Yep. We'll see how caffeine hits tomorrow, but physiologically, I should be more than capable of.
I've been limiting my caffeine intake all week and running on less than I usually do. Not zero. I can't pull that off out of nowhere. But I made a promise to myself that I've had a salad at least one time every day all week. I've cut down on my caffeine. I've focused on hydration. It's all coming together, man. It's all coming
To the
together.
exact opposite of what I do.
And then watch me just shit the bed on like 3 events tomorrow. I'll like leave all my sheets out front. I'll go out on 12 on Wob. I'll sit here and be like, I feel so good, and I will come in dead last.
You're going to be the epitome of...
All right, we'll get into the field and everything else later, but so we're only throwing Braemar Stone. Or I'm only throwing Braemar. You're going to actually get to throw both because you're throwing Pro. So I'll say I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a bit of a bounce back from Whitstock where my stones were off, but we figured out why, and so I think mentally I'm in a good spot to unfuck that, and I feel good. So I think Braemar is going to go well for me, which I think my PR right now is, I don't know, man. I wish we had Cabermetrics.
Give me a quick second opened up for the season.
31 something, right?
31s, maybe 31-10, 31-8, something like that.
You are 31-10 and a half.
31-10 and a half. So if I could throw over 32 tomorrow, I'd be pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping... I either wouldn't be mad at having 2 or 3 events with a big PR, or just tiny PRs kind of spread around the day. I think either way, it's a win for me. I think I'm in a good place to do it. But yeah, I think Stone will be good. I'm feeling poppy. I'm feeling healthy.
If we get to go open at the end of the day.
If we get to throw open stone, I'm really looking forward to that. The position I was hitting out of my glide in practice the other day in that ring was really nice. Like if I was... My issue in stones is the same issue I have in weights. And if I'm not able to check in mentally, it's talent. It's my dick is just too big and it throws me off to the left.
It should get for being tall.
Yeah.
It should be short like me.
Yeah, you never fall over. That's the Bryce McCraw approach. So, my issue with those is they require a technique I haven't drilled for nearly as long as a lot of people. And so I have to be mentally there as well as physically. And mentally I also feel there. Like nothing's feeling disconnected when I think about the reps or the movement. It feels like it's going to go well. So if we get to throw open at the end of the day, if time allows, I'm still thinking that'll be nice. It'll be a challenge if we're throwing it after height events because I'm really going to pour it on for Sheaf and Wob. Because if anything needs a PR, it's actually Sheaf and Wob. It'd be nice to get it elsewhere, but those are my numbers I need to actually get up overall. So,
yeah, especially Sheaf.
Yeah.
Tell me about it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not super stoked about Braemar personally because it is the Mazda Braemar, which is like 25 pounds.
It's going to be heavy and awkward.
Right. So I know I'm not the snappiest thrower anyway, so that stone, as far as placing with other people, I'm going to do well on. But as far as actually throwing, I think 35, 37 feet, somewhere in that range. 36, I'm going to say, is probably
doable.
Very doable. I'm going to try to push all of my events hard tomorrow, though.
Why not?
Because
I
need the marks. Right.
Yeah, starting over from 0.
Yeah, and then...
As of tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'll have a higher point total than Matt McDougal.
No, you won't.
Because he has a 0 in the pros.
Yeah.
No, I'm removing you from NASDAQ. I'm going to figure out how to do that.
Every score.
We're pulling your amateur numbers out. Fuck off.
And then open stone, assuming the left leg cooperates, I feel good for hitting over 50, so I would expect nothing less than 47. But we'll kind of see how that goes. My athletic...
Have you hit 50 in a comp before?
In Highland Games, no.
Okay.
So
I know you've pushed a shot further than that. I just wasn't sure.
No, 48 something. But
48-3 for the season.
that sounds Patty's looking at it right now.
Look at this
So
guy.
yeah, that's my PR in Highland Games. But I've had plenty of practices this year where I'm throwing, low mid 50s. It's just it doesn't always get to happen that way in a field.
I feel like that's the downside. We'll do a glide versus rotation episode one day,
Right.
but I feel like the upside to glide is that it just travels so well.
It's much more
Comparatively.
consistent.
You can do it in any field condition.
Yeah. I PR'd at Mountain State in that fucking downpour. I threw over 40 feet twice. Like
Right.
it'll work for
Yeah.
you, but it's...
Whereas if my ground is slightly unlevel, I'm just power throwing.
If a rotational person gets a hold of one, it could
Right.
potentially go further than a glider, at least more times than not.
For sure.
But we operate in an outdoor
Yeah.
sport that happens at parks with conditions we don't control.
Weights.
Yeah. All right, weights. Once again, it's just feeling like it's going to be good. I'd like to squeak out small PRs in both. So like heavy is what 31.8. Patty, am I remembering right?
Let me go back. I'm having a little
Number 54.
figure. Yeah, there we go. Your weights, 31 and 61.
Yeah, so 31 and 61. Again, I wouldn't be mad at a couple of small PRs. Like my end of season goals are 33.65.
Yeah.
So, like, if I could inch closer to that would be nice.
Yeah.
If it just happened tomorrow, that would also be sweet. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for either of those to the other thing about tomorrow that we're skewing all this is we're starting with heavy hammer.
Yes.
So we're going in traditional order for saying how we think we're going to do. But I think that's going to mess with a lot of people. Starting with that, I'm hoping that it ends up not being a huge factor. But it is what it is, right? So if that is tweakier on my body than I want it to be, that could cause a detriment come weights.
Yeah.
But it may not, also, because there are a lot of guys that are going to beat the shit out of me in hammer, so I might take it easy in hammer and just save it for everything else, because
Just don't get last.
I've got like an 83-foot mark for heavy in already or something, so like, fuck it, I might just coast through heavy hammer and not take last.
Yeah.
Because the guys that are going to beat me in hammer, some of them are guys that I know I'm going to beat in stones and weights, so like, what does it matter?
Yep.
But either way, they're feeling good. Like, hypothetically, if I was fresh, I'd almost say those end-of-season goal numbers are close to doable tomorrow.
Right.
But real-world conditions will be what they be.
Yeah. I'd be upset with anything less than 37 and 75. Those are easy marks for me at this point.
And should be for a pro.
Right, and should be, right, exactly. So, like, some of these marks are what I expect and want to do, and then some of these marks are what I need to do. So
Yeah, we've talked a lot of shit about what the baseline should be
Right.
In this sport, and one of us is now in a championship, and one of
Yep.
us is now throwing pro. So we should probably not shit the bed.
Right.
If we're going to have a public forum where we tell everyone else to be better, we got to be better.
I kind of, if I get a hold of a heavyweight, I expect to go over 40 tomorrow. I feel good for it.
And the weather is looking
Like,
really nice.
The weather's really pleasant.
We're not going to be drenched in sweat come weights.
Right. Yeah.
We're not going to be slipping all over a wet field. Like,
Yeah.
It's going to be really nice.
So I'm
Good point, Beans.
Yeah. I'm really expecting my heavyweight to be better than my light tomorrow, but I think I'll still be somewhere in the high 70s for light. I mean, I feel good about my upper chest is normally pretty tight, and I've managed to get it to release a little, and so I'm expecting to do well on that.
Sweet.
I'm expecting to do well on everything, but
Well,
my peak was timed actually pretty decently here, so
yeah. And mine unintentionally so. Just due to when we were able to throw and when
Right.
I was able to lift, I think it worked out
yeah.
fine.
Hammer.
All right, hammer. So we're only
yeah.
throwing heavy hammer.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably the one event I'm not expecting a ton out of. Like, I don't plan on pushing it super hard.
It's a finicky event.
It really is, and to start the day off with it is weird. So I'm honestly just not setting my expectations all that high.
Yeah.
If I can throw somewhere within 10% of what I usually throw, I'm cool with that. Because I also don't think there's a single person in this field who's going to be excited to throw heavy hammer first. And honestly, if someone does come out and go balls to the wall on heavy hammer first, I think it's going to bite him in the ass come later in the day.
Yeah.
So I think either way, as long as I just coast during that one, it's fine. So, you know what? At 78 to 81 feet, I'd be perfectly happy somewhere in there. It's not the end of the world. Like, to
Yeah.
be within a little bit of that, I'm cool.
So if you just hit 80, it'll be
Right.
If
it'll-
I hit
it'll go-
80,
it'll
I'd
go
be
pretty
ecstatic.
well.
If I throw an
right.
80-foot heavy hammer tomorrow, I'll be pumped. I'll be going into stones feeling really good.
Yeah.
If I throw 75 plus, I'll know that things are at least moving kind of okay.
I'm expecting nothing less than 90 on heavy. I've had a couple practice that would indicate that I could throw over 100, but we're just going to see what happens. Some days I can feel the technique, and other days it's just not there at all. So if
Yeah.
I have a good technique day and the right amount of caffeine, which I don't know that I'm going to start my day with that much, then
Yeah, it's real early.
we could pop. But I expect at least 90.
It's not the one worth blowing your load on.
Absolutely
anyway.
not. No, I need the sheaf and wob marks. And caber. I need the caber mark. That's what actually matters. So
Yeah, Matt's hammer is something we've been trying to iron out anyway. We posted up a video the other day. So they're just little tweaks we're trying to make, and they're just not consistent yet. They
Yeah.
could all pop, and they may not. So
right.
it is what it is. Caber?
Caber 12.
Honestly, I don't know about a 12 because we're gonna apparently be throwing the telephone poles, and they're one that I historically struggle with.
How heavy are they?
Pretty hefty. Now, the upside is, usually when I've been throwing them, it's been after a rainstorm. It's not raining or dewy tonight, so I'm pretty pumped about that.
Are we talking like 120 plus or
Most
Yeah.
likely.
Okay.
They're pressure-treated telephone poles. They fucking suck.
how long do they got them?
18?
Yeah, you don't actually have to run fast with them, but you do have to pull them all the way behind your head.
Yeah, it's
You have
really
to.
and so that's one of the things where I can get away with it on I'd prefer a 22-foot caber with a taper over an 18-foot one that's even all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the way I like to throw caber. I like to try and run and put speed to it.
Yeah, physics-wise, I mean, the taper helps out immensely.
No, apparently our pro caber that we're starting with is like 21 feet and has a taper in it and is whippy.
It
so
sounds more doable than... It sounds like the one we threw at Dave Marble's game.
Right.
Which I'd be all for throwing that caber again, not... But honestly, what I will say is that mindset-wise, I'm excited to throw it because I've never turned the telephone pole caber that Massa has. So if I could get a turn out of it tomorrow, I'd be pretty pumped. That would just be a nice little personal thing for me. Right. And I think the guys that are typically close to me in caber are going to have the same problem I will. So I don't... It's the same thing with starting heavy hammer in the first. Do I like it? Is it going to help me? No, but we're all throwing heavy hammer first. We're all going to throw the same shitty caber. So, like...
Sheaf.
I can't complain. Yeah. Sheaf... if I can get this leg drivey thing to work, I think we're looking at hopefully a 28 to 29. That's what I'd like to walk away from the day with. My all-time PR is 28. My season best is 26.
Yeah.
So I'd like to at least tie, if not beat, my all-time.
Yeah.
For this. I don't know what kind of jumps we're making. I don't know where we're starting.
I'm hoping we make 3-foot jumps.
If we open at 20 and do 3-footers, that'd put us at 29.
I'd be fine starting at 24. I mean, it's an elite competition. I mean, start at an
elite height. It is, too.
I would argue.
Well, I mean, it's not an elite height, but start at a higher height. There's supposed to be some people that are going to know height.
You got a couple of people that will know height at 24.
Yeah. I was going to say, start
I've no heighted at 20, leaving it out front once now, so I can't talk an immense amount of shit.
Oh, yeah,
but I'm capable of hitting 24.
Yeah.
But speaking of, they put in our Whitstock score slightly wrong. They said me and Bryce went out at 21. Me and Bryce went to 24. Brandon went out at 21, but neither here nor there.
That we have the field size to worry about, to where if we start at, like, 18, 20, we're going to be there all day.
Yeah. I will say now, I was going to say this for the end, we're down to 16 people, which makes it more manageable than our original 21, 22 people. And then, inevitably, 1 or 2 people usually end up no-showing. So if we throw with 15 to 14 guys, it'll become easier. But I could see a higher one, but I'd say 20 is the lowest we should go. This should not be one of those... We're not opening sheaf at 18 for a championship.
The lowest I would say would be 22. But I'd
say if you're doing 3-foot jumps, 21. If you're doing...
I'd still start at 22.
Well, that's your game. I'm saying what I think they'll do. I'm guessing what they would do, and I'd be shocked if they open less than 20.
I'm biased because I'm not going to come in till later anyway, so it doesn't
You can
really
go take
matter.
a nap. I don't give a shit.
I'm biased.
This isn't your episode.
It's not supposed to be.
So I'm 28, 29. Hopefully is the goal.
30. Anything less than 30 and I'll actually be upset. I've thrown 30 with a 20 for every 3 days for the last 4 weeks. So that's not
it's not unreasonable.
No, I like the 20-pound sheaf more than the 16. It actually gives me a little bit of lat drag. I can feel it more. I think I'm going to throw... I mean, my PR with the 16 was 32. I know I can go higher than that, but like my season has ended fast here for amateurs. But like I have no doubt that I'm going to go higher than I did as an amateur as a pro, but I'd expect at least 30 at this game.
And I've seen you go 32 before.
Right.
That one you left out at Dublin.
I certainly have the power to go pretty good in the pro sheaf, but at my first game I'd like to hit 30 just because it would be a good point marker.
My goal is to time my caffeine intake for the height events at the end of the day. So I've got a nice 300 milligram caffeine drink that possibly start sipping on when we do caber, just to let the old slow burn sink in, and then finish before we get to height events.
Yeah.
That way, by the time we get to the higher heights on sheaf and we start wob, we'll do that. So we'll roll right into wob because I want to hit 14. I'll be a little sad if I don't hit 14 tomorrow, unless I'll be reasonable with myself, and if something tweaks in my body and I don't hit 14, it is what it is. But if I'm still feeling halfway good, there's no fucking reason not to hit 14 at this point. I'm getting a little tired of it. The one thing I would love if they do, and I'll try and mention this to someone, is to move the fucking wob standard for day 2. Because we're throwing on day 2, which I didn't even think of as far as trigs and stuff. Usually they're good about scooting our trigs over. But sometimes they just leave the wob standard up.
Right.
And if the ground's all chewed up where we're going to throw from, I'm not going to be thrilled.
Yeah.
I will move it. I will break it down and move it. I know how to move that wob standard.
Yeah.
We can get 3 dudes to literally just pick it up and place and move it. It's not
We're
hard.
throwing on the aluminum piece of shit.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Which is already
might
one I
change my
hit, but
answer.
honestly, at this point, I've just flirted with 14 so much. Fuck whatever standard I'm on. I need to hit it. I'm tired of not hitting it. But I'd like to stand on ground where 12 to 24 other people haven't dropped a fucking weight
Yeah.
for the day before.
Ideally, it'll be chewed up on the other side, but
You'd hope.
You'd hope, but every once in a while you have someone who thinks they've reinvented the wheel by stepping to the other side of it. And
Fucking it up for everyone else.
yeah, because they think it's great and they are they're doing it for a 12-foot wob. Yeah, they're doing it for a 12-foot wob, and it's stupid. You're not shooting for 19. I don't know why you feel like you have to change something up, throw where everyone else has been throwing. Anyway, that's a different soapbox for a different day. For a different episode. Yeah, so hopefully a 14 wob. That's what I'm pulling for.
it's
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah, it's super doable. I had the height for it at several games this year. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen if I just pay the fuck attention
Yeah.
and go into the event feeling fine. If we were opening with wob, I'd put $50 on myself right now to hit 14.
Oh yeah, being fresh.
Oh, for sure. So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about how we expect the day to go.
I think
overall.
we're gonna throw 15 or 16 on Wob to clarify.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. My bad, buddy.
Can't leave
Yeah.
Matt out.
Yeah, I'm opening at 14. I feel comfortable with that now, so I'm gonna do 14, 15, 16.
Ooh, I could gamble and just open at 13. The championships isn't the place to gamble. That's silly. I'll save that for.
Well, if you don't think you're in a podium, then like you could actually just gamble.
Oh,
Like
that's
you-
a decent.
It won't
You-
make a difference.
You lose nothing.
No, but I've set the benchmark for myself. So I was gonna say let's roll into the overalls. I don't want to come in further than 10th place.
Fair
Like
enough.
that is the end all be all for me.
Yeah.
I'd like to finish 8th.
You're opening
Like
13.
yeah, no, opening 12. I typically open 12, and I use that as the well. So here's the other thing that'll make a difference is hopefully we won't have a lot of guys trying to throw 10 and 11. Because I typically open 12 because that's essentially my warm-up. There's no point in warming up if you're throwing an AM game where you have to sit down for 35 minutes waiting for everyone to take a bunch of 10-foot pulls and a bunch of 11-foot pulls. So I just don't warm up, and then I
Yeah.
throw 12 to see if I'm feeling good. Then I go throw 13 and then 14. So
I just want to see why we'd start lower than 12.
I also agree with you, Patty,
Yeah.
but I don't know that it's going to happen.
I mean, almost half the field's PRs are 13 or below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that would be. I think you're gonna have to. There's 6 guys before
Ooh,
you.
it'd be a fun little head game to just come in at 13.
Right.
Okay, you know what? Coming in at 13 tomorrow, guys.
Do it.
Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball. Sunday. Thank you. There was Beans in the background going, Sunday. Why are you so afraid to talk on the podcast?
I'm not. I'm just listening.
It feels like you're a little afraid. You're sitting there all...
It's cold out.
All away from
I'm
all
sweating.
of us.
Come cuddle. What do you want? Like, it's fucking
All
hot.
the warmth is over here.
Yeah. There's a lot of heat in this space.
There's almost 900 pounds of dudes
Of meat
over
hanging.
here.
There's over 900 pounds of dude hanging out here.
There's.
Because if you just add his plus 300 to mine, we're already over 3 by more than 20 pounds.
That's true, and I'm 280.
Yeah, because he's got 100 pounds on me. So, all right, quick math. 360,
70.
370,
Yeah.
260.
2050. We're 910.
Yeah, well, there's almost 1,000 pounds of dude over here, Nina. You could be really warm.
I think you need to focus.
Okay. Sounds like you need to focus. Anyway. But yeah, so my goal for myself tomorrow is I will Sunday. Okay, look, you don't know when I'm releasing this. You don't know when they don't know, Beans. Stop it. All right, for the sake of brevity, yeah, we're recording this Friday night. I don't throw it till Sunday. That is your benchmark for all the stupid shit I say.
we're also used
To be
to
fair.
throwing- To be
fair.
To be
Fair.
We're
right.
also used to throwing Saturdays.
We are. This is weird. Yeah, my goal for myself is 10th place, end all be all. If I don't come in 10th, something has gone horribly wrong. Optimally, I'd like to come in 8th. Like, I think 8th place is incredibly doable as long as I throw what I'm capable of throwing and everyone else throws what I think they'll throw. Like, I think that's reasonable. Anything other sort of shakeup that happens will be because some sort of outlier has occurred. Either someone who is typically good in an event has zeroed it or fouled or done something funky or had a brain moment. I like to think that if nothing else, I'm very good at not letting people get in my head. I'm there to get in all of y'all's heads.
Yeah,
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
that's fair.
Matt and Jordan had a very unique advantage going into this that I don't bother them. I'm gonna fuck with the rest of you so hard. Actually, I probably won't. I got to think about that on games where like this. I tend to just kind of put it in easy mode. I might fuck with Bryce a little because it's fun.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's so easy. You just look down. No, but I don't have any plans on trying to play head games with people. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like this. Look, me talking shit is not going to put me on the podium for this game.
No.
There are some very good athletes here. If third place happens, it's because there was a massive lightning strike. Like, while everyone else was throwing sheaf at 30, and then they all died because I was under the athlete tent. Like, that's how I podium this game.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. So there's no advantage to be an outright asshole. I'm just there to have fun and to try and throw well. I'm probably actually going to sit there and not talk to a lot of people and just put my headphones in.
Talk to me.
Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Like, sometimes it is kind of nice. Maybe, Beans.
Can't leave Nina out.
I might. She won't talk during this fucking podcast. Why am I going to talk to her Sunday? She's going to be busy throwing with the women.
Hopefully.
I'm
Fingers
here to
crossed.
support you.
And to throw on Sunday.
Only you.
That's right, Matt.
Have to kick ass and take
Fuck
names.
you guys. No, you pointed at me and you said you singular.
I put
I'm
my
taking
hand
that.
out, you.
No,
I'm
you
here to
did
support
this.
you.
Your motion was this, and it was right at me. Appreciate you.
And to be fair,
huh?
you is singular.
It's
Y'all
incredibly-
would be plural.
Yeah, they is
I
plural.
say you guys. So I
You
just left
didn't.
off
You
the
said
guys.
you. Yeah, you left it off. That's called just a
It's
conversation.
actually recorded.
That's
Yeah,
like,
we can play the tape back.
It's like the difference between fish and fishes,
Yeah.
or deer and deers.
Yep. All my dears.
I'm here to support you.
But yeah, there's a lot of good guys throwing, so I think that's kind of how it's going to shake out. Matt, how do you think? We've got, what, 5 pro? So it's a team event. Hopefully it goes well. But, like, from brief research, how do you think you're going to finish out for the day?
So if you're comparing teams, I have no idea. If you're comparing male athletes, third.
Okay.
I think anything less than third would be very much a letdown for me. I think that depending on how serious Wes and Jonathan are taking this, which I don't think they are.
We should team comp, so I think everyone's there to have fun.
Right.
Is the way I've seen it play out in the past.
Everyone else is there to have fun. I need the points as a new pro, because like going pro for a couple of games means that ADs liked you. Staying a pro and getting more invites means that you had good points in your first couple games. So I'm gonna try real hard tomorrow. But Wes and John are both top 10 in the world. Really, it's their game if they want it. It depends on how much they're willing to let me take from them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I tend to throw better when I'm just kicked back a little bit. I don't.
I do.
You
I
know?
do well under pressure. I'm like.
So I do
Dublin was
too,
a
but
good
I do well if I'm
example.
not
Like,
pushing myself under pressure. If I
Right.
just show up and go, the game's going to be what it's going to be. That's when I tend to have some of my better marks.
Yeah, you're not worried. You're not.
And then
stressing.
something I'm learning now is when to push,
Right.
because I have a hard time breaking the throw into pieces, right? So if I go into let's say 2 years ago, if I went into a heavyweight throw and said, oh, fuck, this needs to go far, I'm fouling out the left, I'm going too fast from the get-go, like everything's shitty.
Right.
And so what I've tried to work on now is like going in, chill, and knowing when to...
I think that I had that problem until I became a collegiate thrower, just because I had been throwing for long enough then that I was able to, or actually probably senior year, where I was able to say like, all right, this throw determines states. I have to throw well and actually calm down, have a single note, and throw well.
Well, so
And I think I've kept that mindset into the Highland Games where I can say, I need to throw this thing fucking 38 feet. I'm going to, and I can. So
Yeah, because I think where our sport is different from what a lot... Like, if you're going for a max deadlift, you get hyped up before you ever touch the bar.
it's a very different emotional.
So you do have to regulate it differently because it's a longer event and the timing is
right.
complex. Like there's a lot going on. We'll touch on it in Nikita's episode, but like we talked about WOB and everyone thinks it's really simple. It's not. It's actually, to do it well, is very nuanced, and there's a lot of points to break down, and that goes for every throw. Like it's, if you just go in hyped up for the entire 100% of the throw, it's going to go to dog shit.
Yeah.
Like you can't move fast the whole time. It's a weird balance.
slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
There you go, buddy. High speed, low drag. So, Patty, as our color commentator, how do you think our
How wrong do you think we are?
Yeah.
All right. So
Let's get an unbiased opinion of the guy that we put up in an
unbiased
Airbnb.
opinion.
No.
You know, that's what I do. Let's see. I'll start off with you, Jeremy, since you're gonna be throwing with me. Let's see. I think you're pretty accurate with how you're gonna get.
Pretty smart
I haven't
guy.
been up here and be able to practice with you guys. To be able to, like,
Yeah, but we
see how
talk
stuff's
literally
going.
every day.
I mean, yeah. So I got a
other
good
videos
every fucking day.
I got a good idea.
I've heard your voice more than anyone's for the
Yeah.
last 2 months.
You're welcome.
Oh, I loved it.
I
Every
hope-
minute of
I
it.
hope it gets you hard.
It's starting to hurt.
But yeah, I think you're gonna be good because if it is that 25 Massa Stone, I think it'd be good low 30s for the Braemar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not. My end of year goal for Braemar is 34, and this is
Yeah.
not the stone for
No.
me to throw 34 on. Like I'm not.
It's
do that
a
at
25-pound stone. I think it'll be good for 30, 31, and then going through heavy hammer. It's gonna be starting with heavy hammer is always weird. It's nice because your core gets warmed up really early on.
Here's the thing, if you don't
but
fuck it
just
up, it
getting
can be
ready,
nice.
Yeah, but just getting ready for it.
That's the
first
biggest
thing
thing.
is just the worst thing in the world. So that's if you can break 8. I think hammer is going to be a big decider points wise for you.
I think it is for a lot of people. I think it's going to set the tone for the day in a lot of ways.
If you can break 80, because I feel like there's going to be a decent gap, you're going to have 70s throwers.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the low people that are going to be throwing in the low 80s, between 80 85. And then I think it's going to split from there to 90
To
plus.
90 plus, yeah.
Yes. So I think if you can break out of the 70s and hit the low 80s,
Put it into that middle pack. Yeah.
that's going to make up a lot of points that you're going to need. And then skipping ahead a whole bunch to the height events, sheaf and wob. If you can clear 14, clear because you say you're going to come in 12.
No, we're
Clear-
coming in 13.
Coming in
We're
13?
calling it
Good,
early.
good.
Fuck 12.
Good. It's an elite competition. You should. So 13, 14, you clear both on your first. That's going to put you a decent bit above. Because with the level of athletes coming to this comp, 13's going to be a weeding out section. To where if you make 13, and if you can successfully make 14, 13 foot's going to be where everyone's going to stall out at. Like most general amateur A comps.
Yeah, we'll have 4 or
13's
5
the stall
guys that
out
are going to
point.
go 15 plus, but it's
Yeah,
not.
13's
It's
the
not
stall
even going to
out
be
point.
half the field, I don't think.
No. I mean,
I'd,
Faye's definitely going to. He could do it in his
I
sleep.
think a third are hitting
So,
15.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just going to be a matter of how consistent everyone else can be to their personal best. So if you can stay up to yours and maybe squeak small personal bests out, I think you'll do rather well and be a lot more pleased than you think you're going to do. That's an awesome meme. And then so
I
that's
think
my
she has to-
that's my general
Oh, she had to
prediction.
spell it out, and then she got sad.
I think you have the chance to go anywhere from 5th, 6th to really as low as you want to go.
I think if 5th and 6th happen, it's going to be because someone else did bad.
Yeah,
Which
it's
I think
gonna
is
be a matter-
it could happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a matter of other people fouling out or really fucking up,
Dropping
or-
something out front. I mean,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
sometimes you
wob-
have a day where you leave them out front because
Yeah.
your wob timing's off. Like, it just is what it
or
is.
like me at Port City and Sheaf, you're just gonna leave it outside the towers all day long.
It was both of us outside of Port City, buddy.
I may be throwing 35 there, but it was outside the towers all
There's
day.
a reason I went to the beer tent so early, and it's because I know heighted sheaf.
So I mean,
I was throwing
stuff-
25 that way.
I mean, stuff like that can easily happen, and people aren't consistent. So
Yeah.
I think middle of the pack is likely where you'll end up finishing. out
I'd
of
like to be on the
everybody.
upper end of
But
middle if all
there's-
things happen, but
especially if you can get your height events and heavy hammer out the ass, and
which
up
is good
there,
because my hammer's been
you'll
good this
upper
year,
middle
and
of the pack.
heights are
Yeah.
traditionally good for me, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, so I think that's about what's going to happen as long as you can. Your
How
height
many
events are in
30-foot
hammer.
sheaf throwers do we have coming up
A
here?
good bit.
Most.
Yeah.
Yeah, goddamn East Coast sheaf,
If
man.
you go off of...
We need to go
Yeah.
west and like where my 27-foot sheaf is really impressive.
Yeah. Well, over there, most out west, when I was talking about when I met a couple guys from there, a lot of them just throw 20s. They don't even throw the 16.
Half the field is hit 30.
Yeah.
9 people.
So, I mean, that also stands for
Be
me
nice
thinking...
if I could hit 30.
Yeah,
Right.
That also supports me thinking we're going to come in higher.
Yeah.
If half the field
But here's the thing.
cleared 30,
Look, come in at 24, that's fine. It just means I'm going to take... traditionally on height events, I take very few warm-ups. I take a bottom-up pull-in sheaf, and I go, that's where I need to poke that bag. And
Yeah.
then that's it. And then I
Yeah.
just come in at a lower height and use that as my warm-up because I don't feel like sitting there for fucking ever.
which is fair. Versus like everyone else who's going 30 plus, you're going to be sitting there for a little while and then warming up.
Yeah.
Now on to Matt, the McDougal himself, the curly-haired wonder,
Yeah.
the man wonder. Can't say boy wonder.
He's younger than I am by a good bit, so
This is true.
Yeah, but I'm older than Patty.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the group here.
he's a child.
I mean, I am a child, but my body has
Yeah,
the
if you had
miles
your
on
kid
it.
at 12.
It's got so many miles on it. God. Rough city miles, too.
Yeah.
This thing was not a grocery getter.
But I think as long as you don't get in your head and you can stay smooth and calm, which
Yeah.
you're usually pretty good at, as long as stuff goes smooth, calm, and you don't get into your own head about things,
I think
I
what
think you're
is
gonna do rather well.
also working well for us with Matt is that we're not throwing with an AM group.
Yep.
So if I come over to tell Matt something, he's going to listen. And we're
Oh
not going to
my
have
God.
8 other people.
yeah.
Fuck, let me tell you, I am so excited. Not that I don't love you guys, but I'm so excited for you to not be in my fucking ear today or tomorrow. Like, to just be able to go out and compete.
Oh, you mean talk with your training partners and no
Right.
one else and move
Yeah.
on with your day?
Training partners and colleagues. Like, I don't,
you can say colleagues now.
right. Like, I just,
Yeah, once you get paid. He
hasn't
hasn't
cashed
cashed
the
the check yet.
No.
no. But,
Oh, I have a thing to add, but go on.
yeah, like, I'm so excited to not, to just be able to think about fucking throwing, right? And I'm not a super social guy. I'm friendly to everyone. And that's not true. I'm generally a decent human being, but my social battery is pretty low anyway, and I don't want to.
Yeah, if you
Like-
need to come talk to one of us, find me.
Yeah, fine. Jeremy will talk for all fucking day. I want to just go home and cry most days. Like, I'm not.
I do that too, but I just talk a lot.
Right. I run a business where I have to talk to people, and it just, like, I don't know why I do any of the things I do. But anyway, I'm so excited to actually be able to go out and be in a group with,
Like-minded individuals.
Right.
It's 95% of the people you'll be throwing with are going to be like-minded, as opposed to 25%.
And, like, I've thrown with Wes and Jonathan a lot, and I've thrown with Collins actually quite a few times, and Grammer I've thrown with once, and we were on opposite sides of the field, so it didn't really matter. But two of these guys I know really well and enjoy spending time with, so it should be a pretty relaxed day for me. It should be just like shooting the shit with friends. So,
Which should make things go far.
Which is another thing I think is going to go rather well for you, is you have Wes and Jonathan, both top in the world athletes in our chosen sport, and you're going to have someone in front of you to chase.
And if I
which
go...
is
so if
which
you
is the
just-
first
yeah.
time all year.
So if you're going to decide, you know what, I want to go balls to the wall, get that contest adrenaline dumping, and you're like, oh, I'd have these numbers I need to chase.
And if I go,
here right
if I go
now.
leave and get a pedicure, and the guy you're throwing with gives you advice, it's coming from a pro,
right.
not a B. We love you, but
Still
calm
can't
down.
believe you're going to get a pedicure.
Dude, they feel so good, and it's become a pre-comp tradition. Hey, you know what? Here was going to be my point. If Matt starts throwing at 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow, at 9:01, you'll be talking to the best amateur thrower in Virginia with that attitude, buddy. It's just-
Yes.
I could be wrong on that. I'll put an asterisk because I haven't actually delved deep. But off the top of my head, I think it might be true.
As far as NASCA scores this year, I think it's true.
Yeah, we've talked about it some, but I haven't personally vetted it. So when it comes out of my mouth, I'm putting an asterisk on there. But
My NASCA page now pops
I'm
up
not-
to the pro page instead of the amateur.
Someone's better than
put the AMs in incognito mode so no one knows you
only
look
by
at
points.
it. Only in the ways that matter.
Right.
Points in dick girth.
girth certificate right there.
Anyway,
Anyway,
But yeah, I think you're going to do rather well. I think third, because again, like you, I'm not experienced with any team comps, so I don't know how the dynamic's going to go or how the scoring's going to be.
it's not really up
So
to
it's
me
gonna be
how.
interesting,
Right, it's
yeah.
not up to me how my team does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's half
so
up to me, but like
it's a
that's
cool
it.
dynamic.
It's just half.
Right.
And I mean, depending on how it goes, I'd have to experience it first. But I could see it being a rather fun thing to.
They
put
are
into the
super
games.
fun. Nikita
Yeah.
was right. They are very entertaining. I would almost like
Justin Straight's ahead of you.
by how much?
300 points.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
pick
The
up the hand,
second best thrower in Virginia.
Until I get up here.
when it
Until then.
happens.
Yeah.
Not until you get an actual license, too. You can't just move up here. I need you to get an OL. And if you think I'm not pulling every string I have to block that. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard of none of these games he did.
Are they in Virginia?
No.
Is he? Are we sure he lives in Virginia?
Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure he lives
He
in...
actually might have moved out of state. Justin,
then he
do you
doesn't
listen to
count.
this? Do you live in my state? Do I have to come tow your car? What are we doing?
He's gonna pull all the strings he can.
God bless it. But yeah, I think
yeah.
that's really it, guys. That's our ECC/VSG prediction. We also predict that if we can get Nina thrown in the open women's, I think she'll podium.
Yeah.
You will. You will.
I think Patty's going to podium it at the ECC.
Yeah, I think that is worth saying. So Jordan Patty's going to get his own episode here in a little bit. We'll have it recorded this weekend.
Yeah, probably sometime
I'm hoping
tomorrow, I'm
to,
guessing.
by the time you guys hear this, it should almost be dropping, because I'm hoping to do just a big editing streak
Right.
over the weekend as we record these, and really dump a lot on you guys if
Yeah.
everything goes to plan.
I want
And
to throw this out there that, like, my spreadsheet doesn't support this, but I think the podium's going to be Jordan Patty, Max Mays, and Brian Freed. I think those three are definitely going to end up top 5, but I think
it's very reasonable.
I think that's my podium. I don't have as much faith in some of the other guys, just because of injuries and how they're doing this year. But I think Max Mays could actually win it also. I think
it would have been interesting to do a spreadsheet based solely off 2023 scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to all times.
Ooh, and
Yes.
taking inconsistency into account on
Yeah, if your
what their
average
is
scores or
What we got if we did modifiers?
right. Yeah.
versus people that are like have a random throw that pops off like 6-7
See,
feet.
and mine wouldn't be because mine didn't come
Then
up
they're
until
normal.
3 games ago.
Right.
Now they've been consistent over the
Yeah.
last 3 games.
That's it. Like, I PR'd every event this year, so I know my numbers are my numbers. So
Like take the last 3-4 games and average those.
Dude,
numbers.
we have some people here who've only thrown like 2 games this year.
Yeah.
You know? And so it makes it very hard to judge.
and you have some guys whose PRs are from 2011. I'm like, you have to put that to an asterisk. But
But it means they're capable of it, so
Yeah.
it can happen.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. I mean, total
Anything is
difference-
possible,
yeah,
kids, with
different-
capitalism and a little bit of can-do attitude.
Maze has thrown the caber you guys are throwing because we threw those at Wild and Wonderful. So, like, I think he's going to do well on the caber because I've seen him do it, right?
Yeah.
So he has experience.
And I've
on
only
that
pulled
one.
on that caber actually twice.
Right.
Every time I've done it, I've hated it. But every time I've done it, I've been weaker and not as good as I am now.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
See, I haven't pulled on a lot of telephone pole.
Historically, I have fucking hated them.
Mm.
I don't hate picking them. I really don't like that when I put my shoulder into it and go to pull, it feels like the whole thing moves
so,
level.
It's so far away from you too because it is like an 8 or 10 inch diameter.
Oh yeah,
Caber.
it's
They had one of those at
sheet
Worlds,
thick.
Right.
and it was decently heavy. I mean, it wasn't. I
Here's
wouldn't
the
say
thing: if
decent.
it was not pressure treated wood,
heavy-ish.
I would almost
Yeah.
live with it because it wouldn't be so fucking dense.
Right.
See, I'm partial to I kind of like a heavy whippy tree.
Like same.
yeah, because it's heavy, so it's
I
not.
don't give a
gonna-
shit if it weighs 120
get
pounds as long as it's
uncontrollably
20
whippy.
feet long and
Yeah.
I can whip the top end around.
Because if you time the whip right, it's going to
fuck
help
was
you out
that?
a whole bunch.
Did your neck just pop?
No.
Sounded like
Yeah.
Hey, we got another word.
whippy.
We got to know.
Well,
No.
No. Hey,
I think we could actually have a whole episode about.
hang on.
the
We can actually
cabers
get me
we
in a burp on camera if you guys give me a second.
Just crack her back.
No, we'll do it on camera. Come here.
No, once it's done.
Coward. What a coward. We're gonna have Matt hold it real. Hang on. Hold this real close to her back. You want to do it that way?
Is this going to be the outro?
ASMR. Oh God,
Oh, I heard that.
that was our
weird.
weird noise.
Yeah.
Bye.